During the winter, something inside of me just slows down. I go into this kind of reflective state during the winter where I'm just flooded with memories and nostalgia. And so I went into my storage closet and pulled out all my sketchbooks from the first one to the one I'm working on now. But I just wanted to compile different eras of my creative journey. This is the first era. I started drawing later in life, and I don't really have a lot of memories of feeling passionate about drawing or loving it or feeling encouraged. I actually find it very difficult to see any progress in my work. And I believe that going back right now and creating this video is a way to acknowledge that there's been growth. When I look at these fashion illustrations and these poses, I'm remembering I was mainly just inspired by music magazines. And now when I look back, I look at these clothes and these poses, and it seems like I was just drawing a future version of myself. Someone who was more in control, who had more power, more choices. A future me that could just be somewhere else, go wherever I wanted to go, and wear whatever I wanted to wear, and just live differently. And that's what this era kind of represents. And so it became a very personal thing to me. And at this time, I was in high school. And so being praised or judged, it felt equally threatening. But it wasn't the actual drawing and the process of creating that frightened me. It was the exposure. It was so deeply connected to my inner reality, my emotions, and my feelings. But I was also very fascinated by the idea that something can come from my mind, and I could grab a pencil and that I could bring it into manifestation, that I was able to visualize and see something inside of me, and I was able to bring it into reality. So in this season of melancholy, it's really just this state of going so inward. I'm deeply reflecting on my memories, on meaning. I feel that there's this shift occurring in me, and that once again, I am preparing for transformation. Now, in this second era, I must say after high school, I did not draw for years, but I wanted to go to college for design. So I ended up buying a few sketchbooks so I could create a portfolio to enter the program. But in the process of doing that, I rediscovered that feeling again of bringing something into reality. So I was really playing, but I also experienced a sort of creative paralysis that would come up before I would put the pen to paper, but I would always end up doing it and losing myself in the process. In this second era, I was incorporating a lot of drawing into my design work, and that was always the most satisfying part. Design became a way to hide. Creating someone else's ideas allowed me to be creatively visible without being completely vulnerable. Around this time, I also began posting my work on social media. I like the idea of just seeing my work in a chronological order, even though I struggle to engage in the social aspect, likes and comments, and like I said, any type of attention, whether it's positive, negative, or constructive, it's just very overwhelming to my nervous system. But it helped me set goals and kept me accountable, and I was sticking to them. And at that time, as I began to sell illustrations and sell paintings, I believe I became more critical of my work through that exchange. And so I decided to begin studying anatomy, watching videos, tutorials. I remember that it was very mentally taxing, and there was a lot of cognitive resistance. And I would study so intensely, and then I would just stop. And then I would return back to that intuitive play. And that really became a pattern for me, oscillating between study and play. I probably could have done more studying, but I would lose something. The more I would study, something would be missing. Studying often felt like it was pulling me away from that intuitive freedom, but I also recognized that it was helping. I was also experimenting with different materials: acrylic, colored pencils, pastel, gouache, pens. I was still drawing elongated figures, but I also began to draw more portraits, more dreamlike fantasy images. Looking back, I can see that this period, this second era, was one of deep self-discovery. I believe that this is where I began to understand what my creative potential was and what it could actually become if I spent more time studying, doing the thing that I was really resisting. So my third era, I signed up for some online courses in the beginning of the pandemic, and I began learning and taking lessons that had order and structure. Even though I didn't pay to have an instructor and I was self-learning, I was able to watch these videos over and over again in sequence, and that made a difference. I feel that in this era, I saw the most improvement, that I was able to sketch from imagination. As soon as I woke up, I could sketch down my inner vision, and that felt really good, and that woke something up in me. Then I began to experiment with more realism, and mixing that with my intuition and the skills that I was learning. And in this era, I began to feel like I wanted to create my own symbolic language. I wanted to create like a world, but I didn't know how. I didn't know where to start. Not only were my dreams influencing my art, but my art began to influence my dreams. I started to experiment with more gouache, thicker pigments, and this was the time when I fell in love with watercolor for its immediacy, its spontaneity. It really challenged that inner perfectionist. And I believe that the medium really aligns with my personality and the way that I like to create. It offers me that sense of freedom, and it feels very liberating for me. Looking back now, yes, I can see that there has been improvement, but I had to watch this video over and over to really sit with that. So in 2026, I'm really going to be challenging myself to take risks and learn how to meet the world, the external reality, with more presence and more courage while honoring the internal state that I'm in. And remind myself that I don't have to run and hide any longer. I don't have to wait to feel normal again before I share myself. I know a transformation is coming. And see, in this new era, a goal of mine is to finish this sketchbook. This is the sketchbook that I'm working on now, a place where I'm going to experiment, refine and test techniques and styles, share my progress, share the process openly, allowing myself to be seen in feelings of uncertainty, even when I'm still figuring things out. And I feel like that could also be a form of liberation for me. So this is the sketchbook that I'm working on that hopefully I will finish soon. Who knows? But I want this sketchbook to focus on storytelling as well as those foundational skills that I've learned. And when this sketchbook is finished, I will come back and I will do a sketchbook tour. I want to thank anyone and everyone who has taken their time to sit down with me during this retrospective look back as I prepare myself for transformation and moving into this new year of 2026. I'm thankful that you've given me your presence. I'm thankful that you're listening, and I truly appreciate it. This is work for me, inner work, an internal work that I feel I've been preparing for. So I want to give my gratitude and wish everyone to have a wonderful and a beautiful 2026, full of creativity and the fulfillment of all the dreams that we hold within our hearts. And I will see you soon.